You know when you get like 6 hours of sleep, you wake up, you have a cold, you end up going to school, you find out you have a test, then you flunk that test completely, and then you come home and you just feel like crap? That happened to me yesterday, and it was not fun, if it's period. Hey, how's it going, guys? Giving this review, I'm doing a review on everything that I didn't really like about the Black Ops 3 beta. I'm hoping you guys can somewhat agree on some things. I know a lot of you guys aren't going to agree on everything, but I'm hoping you guys can somewhat understand some of my points on this game. Now, one of the biggest problems I found in this beta was the flinch being just so high. Like, when you're playing a game, you don't really want to miss a lot of your shots because you're flinching, because it just seems a little bit more like bullshit than anything else. Like, it just... In this game, when you were shooting and in a gunfight, you were flinching quite a bit, and this was really annoying because if you had a good aim, your aim was going to be going over the person, and a person with terrible aim would be going from your feet to your head and get the kill much faster than he probably should have, which was just really annoying. This happened so many times that this was probably one of the biggest things that put me off of Black Ops 3. Like, of anything in the game, of anything that I found was just, you know, sort of weird or something that I didn't like, this was the #1 thing that just I found was annoying as hell, happened all the time, and was a problem. Now, getting on to another problem that I found just didn't really work that well was the wall running in this game. You know, it felt sort of forced more so than anything else, because in this game, I feel like what Treyarch tried to do was make small maps, but then put in wall running, and those two things just don't really mix as well as I think it could have been on, you know, a larger map. Now when it comes to a game like Titanfall, where, you know, that first introduced wall running, in that game, wall running was everywhere, and it was really useful. It wasn't one of those forced onto you, and in Black Ops, one lane in every single map is basically forcing you to wall run, just to be a little bit, I don't know, not as good as it could have been. And so they were trying to keep it small, put this mechanic in there. What it came down to is when it came to like aesthetic things, like things that you couldn't really run on, there were a lot of those, and then there was a lot of things you could run on. It was just like a half and half thing, and then when you look at Titanfall, you can run on basically everything, and it was just really useful. So it sort of felt a little bit forced onto you to wall run in this game. Now, moving on to something that just really bugged me about this game was the lack of diversity in character customization. Like, there was no character customization in this game, and this is so different because back in Advanced Warfare, there was complete character customization. It was really cool to see in that game. And then going over to Black Ops 3, all these specialist characters are supposed to be their own unique thing. But when you're playing a game and the other team has like 5 of the same character, which does happen quite a bit with like the Sparrow character, surprisingly, when that happens, it just seemed very odd because those characters are supposed to be unique, but when you have like 5 clones of them, it just seemed very, not like a bad thing, but just something that's just a little bit of a low quality thing that you really shouldn't have any high budget game like this. Now, one of the last things I found was not exactly a big problem, but was just really a disappointment, was the fact that the specialist characters in this game didn't have this giant impact on the gameplay that I think it was going to have. You know, when you look at games like League of Legends and Dota, the reason why those games are so cool is that every single character has its own sort of part in playing a game. Like, every single character has its own sort of play style. And in this game, I really felt like a lot of the characters were going to have their own playstyle. Like, oh, you could use this character especially was good for this or that. But in this game, it just didn't turn out that way. Like, no character was super good for one thing or another. And those special abilities just didn't do enough to make these characters special. Like, I don't know. It just didn't seem like these characters had enough impact on the gameplay to make them really necessary. And if it did, I think it'd be really cool, because when you look at like MOBAs and stuff, characters that have some sort of ability are really helpful in a lot of different situations. Now, I think one of the most annoying things, and the last thing in this video that I found was just so annoying with Black Ops 3, like, why did they do this? Well, they didn't really optimize the game for the PC, which was super annoying because PC already gets a lot less attention compared to Xbox One or PS4 from the developers. Like, it just doesn't get that much attention. And when the game comes out and is basically just completely broken, like, you guys can look this up, it is completely true. This game was not optimized at all for the PC, which was just, I don't know, like, you know, in the future that basically it's going to end up like this, because Treyarch is not going to be going and focusing on the PC version of the game. Like, they don't really have enough time to do that, as well as they don't have their priorities set on the PC version. They just don't. So in the future, when the game actually does come out and it's not a beta anymore, it's likely going to be unplayable. And for all the people who spent a lot of money to buy this game, $60, $100, you're going to be very disappointed because the PC version is just going to be not optimized, have terrible connection, and likely won't be fixed until like 6 months later, which is really unfair to a lot of those players. And it just seems really stupid. Like, why wouldn't they take more time to put on the PC? Like, we knew before this game came out and before we got this beta that the PC was going to be, you know, getting better graphics and stuff. But the fact this game is just unplayable on PC is frustrating. Like, what? Come on, developers, do your thing. Make sure you put a lot of time on every single platform, so no one's missing out on content. That's my opinion on it. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Now, before I end this video, I want to thank you guys for 160 subscribers. I've been pretty much at 150 for months now, and to see us at 160 is a new number, and it's really cool to see. It's one of those things that's like, honestly, it's nice to see that number go up. I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty cool.